Peace and love. Welcome to another True Skool podcast. Today we are here with a special conversation, and that conversation is about a project that we did in collaboration with the MLK BID here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And before we really get into the details of that project, I just want to point out that there was a study done, and it was released in March of this year, that said that the arts generated $334 million in Wisconsin as a result of 4,550 jobs. Now, that includes contracted jobs, and generated $7.1 million in taxes in Milwaukee. So actually, I think that 334 million is just local Milwaukee. That's not even a Wisconsin number. So I think it is important when we talk, because we're here with the BID, so economics is definitely a part of this conversation. And then we are True Skool, so arts is naturally going to be a part of that economic culture. And I know from like a city level, when people are talking and advocating on behalf of arts, the numbers matter. But I think what we're here to talk about is about the culture that art brings, the storytelling that art brings, and the way that art tells people that they belong, especially when you do it in such a way. So that being the introduction of today's conversation, I want to welcome Ray Hill. Hey. What is your position with the MLK BID?
First off, thank you for having me. Happy to be here. I serve as the executive director of the BID, which pretty much means that I am responsible for governing a specific area that includes businesses and a team, a very small team, but a mighty team of folks to push the economic development agenda in Milwaukee.
That's great. And we also have guest Mahala, who is an artist, a participating artist in the project that we collaborated on. You want to just introduce yourself, Mahala?
Hello, my name is Mahala. I am a True Skool alumni as well as an artist and entrepreneur. I participated in this MLK project and will be also attending the gallery coming up.
Awesome. So the significance of combining arts and economics, arts and economics, they're going to happen. The combination of arts and economics means that we're emphasizing and showcasing the value of the artist's contribution. And we're understanding that while every single industry needs an artist for something, whether it is beautification or marketing or whatever it is, somehow the world is catching up in a way in that artists deserving compensation for their contribution. And oftentimes we find in so many budgets, the creative aspects of those budgets or the artist participation is such a minimal, it has such a minimal representation, and yet it is constantly a need that folks are trying to get in different ways. So, and then thinking about, where the artists are, depending on what your goals of whatever business, organization, industry is, oftentimes you really are tapping into a more localized community because, that's the reach you don't have. So let's get into this particular project. Ray, how did we get here?
Yeah, so I'll take it back a little bit. So every MLK Day, we always want to do something, but one, there's a number of things going on in the city, whether it's the breakfast or the award ceremony. There's always things going on. And as the BID, the King Drive BID specifically, we've always wanted to do something but didn't want to do an event, right? In January, it's cold, there's enough stuff happening. So I had this thought of how can we incorporate some of the quotes and or letters from Dr. King around the district so we could still pay homage to that. And so Knowing that this year, 2024, was going to be or would have been his 95th birthday, I thought it was a great opportunity to really take that into action. But as you were speaking about artists, I am not an artist. I am not a creative in the way that can be monetized. So, and plus, I believe in collaboration wholeheartedly. So, had the idea, and I think I reached out to either Fidel or you, can't remember, but had this conversation real quickly and was like, "Hey, it'd be great if we could do this." And to be honest, it was prior to knowing that there was a funding opportunity, and by the way of Joy Engine, and so. A very tight timeline, but we had the conversation
A little closer.
and we're able to make it happen. I think it was a good alignment with timing, but also understanding like we the bid, we're not a creative organization. And so respecting that and understanding we need to get the right folks at the table. That's where I think it started. So it started from a conversation with you all and we're here.
Yeah. And for us, it was, great ideas just offer us opportunities to tap into artists. And, the artist reach that we have includes like current youth participants that we're working with. It's a way for us to draw in alumni who are all over the city. And then also just a way for us to engage and contract with local artists and make sure that we're also having an impact on that local creative economy.
Yeah.
We focused on letting artists choose an MLK quote around economics and then creating an image that they found, that they felt really represented that quote. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Mahala. Mahala, what quote did you choose, and talk about where your mind was at when you created your design?
So I actually chose my quote after I finished my piece. I kind of took a different perspective, and in hopes to kind of let the piece choose the quote instead of trying to build off of an idea. I had like an image in my head of how kind of I see Dr. King, and a way to describe that is just very colorful, I think. And I hope by the description that I say, maybe some people are able to identify my piece based off of what I say. But in my head, it's not a straight vision of who he was or what he looked like, what color he was, or what he actually believed in. But it's more of just all the different things that created him. And I am also a henna artist, and so I try to incorporate my style into all of the art that I do. So my main motivation was tying in my own creative aspect, but also just trying to represent him in very artistic and colorful way.
Deep, a real holistic idea of who he was as a man. Okay. And what quote did that lead to?
I'll have to actually pull it up. Give me 1 second.
So while she's looking that up, I think it's a great time to also recognize the other artists who were represented in this gallery. And what's really kind of cool is just organically, we had a bunch of like family members participate, which was so cool. So Mystic Phoenix Art is a local creative business, and Beatrice and her daughter Taylor, Beatrice Hart and Taylor Hart, both submitted, and they're represented in the gallery, as well as Kaylin Hart, which is also another sibling of Taylor. And then we had Adjua and Rasamar and Saroma, which is a father-daughter. We had Pamela Graham and Amir Graham, mother-daughter. We have Mahala, who is here with us today and happens to be my daughter. And then we had Cecilia Hall, and then we had a lead artist. And Cecilia is a current participant when she did this. So she was her senior year, or I should say she had just graduated, and it was like her first opportunity as an alumni. Yeah. So it was a notable experience for her as well.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, I was just a student and now I'm being honored.
Part of this.
Yeah. And then we had Ernesto Gomez, who is a lead digital designer, take all the different images, the original art on canvas, digitize them, and then also just kind of create the uniform design that you will see on Martin Luther King Drive in the MLK BID district.
Yep.
And Hala, you ready?
Oh, I cannot find my email.
Give you another minute. And then let's go ahead and take a moment to recognize the businesses that are hosting the art right now.
Yeah. So, interesting enough, I just want to say related to the participants and the artists, we called this project the King Legacy Project because it was really paying homage of all of the expressions and the writings of Dr. King through the short lived life that he had, right? And it just so happened that when you described the interconnection between the artists, it even made legacy even more important. Yes. And a part of this project, because it was not only, it was intergenerational, it was also, mother-daughter, son-daughter, father-daughter. People were really connected to it. And so I think that other layer of legacy really rings true from the idea through Dr. King, as well as the actual artists who participated in the pieces. So Mikasa Sioux Cafe, which is one of the restaurants in the King Drive Bid district, actually have 2 installations in their storefront. Rise and Grind Cafe, 1916 Black, which is kind of an unassuming space. It is a event space, but it's a very prominent piece that is located in the storefront windows. North Shore Bank, they were so excited to have, they asked for 2. So they had initially 1 and they were like, can we have another one? Which was great because, of course, they're the bank. They get the traffic from everybody coming in. So, and then Niche Book Bar is not actively open, but again, you can see it very prominently on King Drive, whether you're on foot or if you are driving by.
And, we were pretty intentional considering the fact that MLK Day, as you mentioned before, it's in January.
Yeah.
It's unpredictably cold.
Yeah.
Which means it's cold. But how cold? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And, we also talked about not doing an event on that day because we did not want to compete with folks who have been organizing for years, for a long time in Milwaukee. But we also wanted to say that we wanted the gallery to be as accessible as possible.
Yep.
So we really encouraged storefront space for the display of these pieces to be seen from the street level so that there was not a barrier for folks to access the art, but then to also hopefully draw people into those businesses and just build some awareness around those businesses, because we want King Drive to continue to thrive as a space with Black-owned businesses, and then also to really promote the diversity of businesses up and down King Drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah. So, interesting enough, I was thinking about like the intersection between arts and economics, and we have a very unique corridor because it is a representation not only of Dr. King, but also those who have been in an area where they couldn't go anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
So 3rd Street historically was the downtown for, many Black people that could not go to the regular downtown, or everything they needed was right there. But it also speaks to the diversity of businesses that were there 50, 60, 70 years ago. And so when you come to the district, it is definitely, you feel the culture, even with the new development that's happening. And there is a lot of new development that's happening, and we love that. But we also want to ensure that we are promoting the historical legacy that also comes with that. And so art is a great way to capture the representation of what it has been, what it is, and what it will continue to be.
And that storytelling piece is so important, because you think about culturally, the griots are in our modern sense, it's in the artists. They're the ones that are preserving and telling the stories. And so this is also notable that this is in the Harambe neighborhood, and that Bronzeville specifically is in Harambe. And there's a really important story there.
Yeah.
It's about the legacy first and what was built by the community there, and then the harm that was done to that community, and then also the audacity and the resilience to bring it back to what it is, and the need for that development and those resources to honor where it's going.
Yeah.
And it's an important thing that we hope to, through this project, to really help put light to.
Yeah.
And to say that we're still going.
Yep.
We're still going.
It hasn't stopped. Yeah.
And really, this is a place in the city for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we have to invest in what's there so that they can be a foundation and a destination place for everybody to visit, like some of the other hot spots in Milwaukee that are typically, I don't know, it's like that drinking culture.
Mm-hmm.
The drinking culture, and there's so much more that is precious about our city, and it's rooted in culture that needs to be celebrated. And King Drive is one of those places that in the next few years, you're just going to see the undeniable growth and the anchoring of its need in Milwaukee as a whole.
Yeah. I would even say, even now, like when we compare to other places in the country, the amount of growth and investment that it's had just in that area is really unprecedented. The other thing I'll say too is that although there is a lot of Black ownership and Black experience, the notion is for everybody to be able to come do that. So just because it's Black owned doesn't mean that it's just for Black people. It just means that some Black people own it, and that's great. But we really want to kind of remove that narrative of that silo, the separation, the segregation, and really open it up to everybody. And I think using art as one of those pieces is important.
Yeah, because that's where the storytelling comes in. Is if people know about it, then they'll know to come to it.
Yep.
We don't need that jewel to stay quiet as kept.
Yeah. Yeah, we telling everybody. We inviting everybody.
Hence a public gallery, and to really get a chance to meet and greet and honor these artists, and to thank the businesses for their participation in this legacy project. We are going to be having an event coming up on June 11th, and tell us about that event and where we're going to be at.
Yep. So it is called the King Legacy Project event, the gallery night, and it'll be an interactive discussion and also viewing. And you also get to meet and hear from the artists but it's going to be at 2775 North King Drive, which was the MLK Economic Development Corporation's gallery. And that gallery used to be active prior to COVID, I believe, and went through some changes. And so this will be, I think, the first event since COVID, since the space was closed. So we're excited to have this opportunity to showcase and just have a discussion about just kind of the inspiration behind it, and also allow people to understand, there's still an opportunity for galleries here, even if they're pop-up or they're not permanent. We can still utilize space to create what we need it to be. So really hoping everybody comes out, a little snack, a little food, talk to some folks, and really just engage in a way that, we haven't been able to engage before. And shout out to Joy Engine for the Community Challenge grant. We wouldn't have been able to, we would have, but it would have took us a little bit longer. And we would have to take from something else. But to be able to do this project so quickly and so efficiently, and also with the partners.
No doubt. All right, Hala, you're going to be at this event on June 11th?
I am. I'm very excited for this event. I'm excited to see the fellow creators who worked on their pieces and to get their perspectives of what inspired them and what continues to inspire them as artists. I think one of the reasons why this project was so important to me is I grew up on the east side of Milwaukee. So kind of seeing King Drive fluctuate in how busy it was, or how many people I saw on that street, or what they were even doing there, if it was, to go see those shops, or whether they didn't even know those shops were there. So I feel like this is an important project to me because this is a neighborhood that I grew up in, and to see it come back alive, especially after COVID, is really cool. I think it's also really cool to be one of the first events back in the space, and especially such a colorful and creative event.
No doubt. So this is the question. Are you going to, because I see you have your art. Are you ready to share what the quote is? Or are you going to keep this a mystery? You're like, I don't know, people can guess my art.
She's like, come to the event June 11th, 6 to 9. And I'll tell you what was inspired.
Right. All right. So my quote that I chose is, "Peace is not simply the absence of conflict, but the existence of justice for all people." And I chose this quote because we do experience a lot of conflict and violence in our city that isn't really comforting for our families and our communities, and it's all over. And it's just, art is something that is so healing, and it brings people together in ways that they didn't know that they could even be a part of, or it's something that's not so normalized. Like it's kind of become such an outlet for me or people that I know who just pick it up just to see what it's like. And you don't have to be a professional to do it. That's another thing that I hope the gallery night inflicts on other people, is just a creative spark into maybe what they could do, or even to other things that they could look into that might inspire them. But also something else I didn't mention about my piece is I used a couple of different materials. I cut out a couple different pieces of paper to work on this, and I used a collection of things to build the actual piece.
Well, really appreciate you as an artist sharing your intention, your process, and also just kind of learning the intimacy around your experience and the value. Mm-hmm. And at this particular event, the King Legacy Project Gallery Night at the MLK EDC Gallery, 2775 North King Drive, on Tuesday, June 11th, from 6 to 9 p.m., you're going to get a chance to witness the art that Mahala has articulated and meet all of the other artists who will be there, some of the business owners, and get to have conversations yourselves. And this is not just about observation. The intention is to be participatory. Like, what else? What else? And Ray really wants to hear the feedback from the community and learn what they're excited about in that district. And also there's programming happening. We're in that season. There's so much more to come. So, just being able to come, connect with artists, connect with the BID, connect with True Skool, share ideas, get excited about the next season. Let's continue to be collective problem solvers.
I love it.
All right. Ray, anything else you want to say before we go?
No, just continue to shop local. Keep supporting art. I know you said it in your opening when you first started talking about how art drives so much economic growth, but it's typically the last item or the smallest budget line item. And so we just have to keep investing.
Yes.
And understand the business around creatives and art. And so just want to see more people advocating for that.
Love it. And then if folks want to get a hold of you or see what's happening in that area, how can they follow you on social media? What's the email?
Yep. So our socials is at Historic King Drive. That is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And then if you have emails or have questions, my email is ray, R-A-Y, at historickingdrive.com. And then, of course, our phone number is 414-265-5809.
Look, you have all the ways to get collected. All right. And it's True Skool, TRUESKOOL 414. Keep following us for amazing connections around the city, helping to amplify the great work that's being done in different sectors through creativity, through arts, and engaging our local artists in those missions. Peace and love. Take care, y'all.